What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the most overpowered position switches in Madden 23 so that you can maximize your players in franchise mode and make them from good to absolutely overpowered. And I'll tell you what, if we can hit 1,000 likes on today's video, I will release episode 1 of our main channel Madden 23 franchise tomorrow. Can you do that? Do you want to do that? So as we go through the players, there's no set list. I'm just going to show you all the overpowered, juicy position switches I've been able to find. It's going to feature a lot of rookies because I don't just want to regurgitate content from last year. I want you guys to have all the new players. I want you to be covered. So when it comes to your franchise mode, when it comes to a fantasy draft, you know which guys in particular to target. One thing I have noticed, though, is a traditional overpowered position switch has got nerfed. This year, when you convert wide receivers to tight ends, aka you know, the Kelvin Benjamin, the Devin Funches, it doesn't seem to yield as good of boost. Before you'd get +5, +6, as you see here with Colin Johnson, he got +2, and that was like one of the bigger upgrades I saw. More often than not, when you move those big wide receivers to tight end, they took a significant downgrade, so something must have happened to the values and the ratings, and probably tight end rating just factors blocking in general a lot more than previous Maddens. So as you saw in the intro, Deebo Samuel going from 89 wide receiver to 99 running back is the biggest boost, +10 to his overall, that we have out of all these position changes. And I mean, in Deebo's case, you might actually want to consider making him a 99 running back, makes him the best running back in the game. But for a lot of these other players, I wanted to make it somewhat realistic. You know, guys that are depth guys that actually changing their position might benefit your squad. They might go from wide receiver 3 or 4 to your RB1. They might go from safety 2 or 3 to your starting linebacker. So I wanted to try to make it not just outlandish, not just trying things that no one's actually ever going to want to apply in their franchise modes. I want to try to make it as useful as possible. So we're going to start with quarterbacks. This is more so in line with pink slips. First, of course, is Taysom Hill. But considering he was a quarterback last year in Madden 22, you know, we can do better. You got Logan Thomas, who was a college quarterback as a 78 tight end. You know, he's a good starter. But if you're looking outside the box for like a weird franchise quarterback, 6'6", 250 pounds, 86 throw power, you got 77 throw on the run. It's a work in progress, but it's a fun starting point. And lastly, we take a look at Tyree Jackson on my Philadelphia Eagles. And I think in terms of pink slip quarterback, he might be my pick. I don't know yet. 6'7", 245 pounds, 93 throw power, the accuracies, 70 deep accuracy, 71 short, 71 play action, 83 speed, 89 acceleration. That's a fun quarterback. And unlike someone like Logan Thomas, he's only 24. There's room to grow and develop him. Switching a wide receiver to a running back is generally the most overpowered position switch you can make in Madden. So I have a couple sleepers here. Everyone is at least a +4 upgrade from their wide receiver ranking to a running back ranking. All the way, we got some +5s, some +6s, some +7s, and you already saw Deebo Samuel who got a ridiculous +10. After Treylon Burks, another interesting rookie is WanDale Robinson of the Giants. He gets a +5 boost up to a 77. Great speed because one of the top rookie running backs in the class. Staying in New York, let's take a look at the wide receiver 4 on the Jets, Braxton Berrios. He gets a nice +5 upgrade and makes him RB1 on the New York Jets. Obviously, you want to use him as a receiving back. We'll take a look at dangerous return man Jamal Agnew, buried on the Jags depth chart at wide receiver. He jumps up and surpasses Travis Etienne as RB2 with a +5 overall upgrade. We have Parris Campbell on the Indianapolis Colts, who his career has kind of fizzled out a little bit. Maybe he could pull a Cordero Patterson and find a second wind of his career by switching positions. He's a 75 wide receiver, and he reaps the benefit of a +5 upgrade to jump up to an 80 overall running back with terrific speed. And the last of our +5 upgrades is like on the cusp of like, would you actually ever really want to do this? Maybe, like maybe not if you're doing the Commanders, because he is your wide receiver 2. But if you get a fantasy franchise or something like that, or he goes on the open market, Curtis Samuel is a 78 wide receiver. But he comes up to an 83 running back, which even in the context of the Commanders would make him RB1 on the squad. 5'11", 196, 94 speed, 93 acceleration. Decent enough carry. I mean, for all these, you're going to be running the risk of fumbles because these guys aren't traditional running backs, but you might have more than enough speed and elusiveness to avoid getting hit. Or use him as a receiving back. Next up, we'll show some veteran love and take a look here at Randall Cobb, who is a 78 overall wide receiver, but gets a massive +6 overall boost, becoming RB2. I guess within the context of the Packers, I mean, you do have guys behind him in terms of growth and development. Christian Watson, Romeo Dubes, those guys that you might want to get the snaps. So where can you find the most value for Randall Cobb? If you have an injury at running back to an Aaron Jones, to an A.J. Dillon, you can put Randall Cobb back there for a couple weeks. Or again, late in your fantasy drafts, this could be a nice little OP running back for you. Another established vet that gets a big time boost is Bills wide receiver Isaiah McKenzie, who is currently wide receiver 4 on their depth chart. And this position switch makes him RB1 on the Buffalo Bills, up to an 82 overall, which is a +6 upgrade. Might be a little bit worried about getting hit, but all of those open field elusiveness abilities is going to make him pretty damn tough to tackle. We'll take a look at one of my favorite position switch players this year, Devin Duvernay of the Baltimore Ravens. He's a 73 with a star dev, and he gets a big +6 upgrade, would be RB2 on the Baltimore Ravens. Great speed. His carrying is some of the highest for wide receivers across the board. He might be the most practical position switch that you can make here out of every player on this list, because I think he can absolutely transition to that Cordero Patterson role as a wide receiver turned running back in real life if he wants to. Another interesting one is wide receiver 4 on the Arizona Cardinals, Rondale Moore. I'm a big fan of this player, 79 with the star dev, and he jumps up right away to be RB1 on the Cardinals, 85 overall, elite speed, can break a tackle, can make you miss in open space, and a terrific receiving back out the backfield. We're on the Chiefs now, where we have our biggest upgrade of the rookie class, where we have Skyy Moore, who is a 72 overall, but gets a massive +6 overall boost when you move him to the running back position. Great speed. That carrying will absolutely do, very much in line with a Devin Duvernay. I think this is a little bit more on the realistic side of a guy that can make that transition, and you won't have to worry too much about the fumbling. And a little bit more on the unpractical side, wide receiver 2 for the Kansas City Chiefs is 79 overall, Mecole Hardman. And he gets a massive +6 and becomes RB1 for the Kansas City Chiefs. You got the electrifying speed. The carrying is a little bit on the low side, so you're probably going to want to use him a little bit more as a receiving back. The last two that I'm going to show you are the highest. They're kind of on the silly end, if you will. I don't know how much you would actually want to apply these in your franchise modes, but they're here anyway. I'll show them off. First, we have Jarvis Landry, who is an 83, and he gets a massive +7 overall boost, up to a 90 receiving back. You know, maybe if he's still there late, people are passing on because he's a veteran in your fantasy drafts, you could consider this. And lastly, for the wide receiver to running back changes, we're going to take a look at the Jags wide receiver 2, Christian Kirk, who straight up ruined the wide receiver market with the ridiculous money the Jags gave him. He's an 81 star dev wide receiver, but like Jarvis Landry, he gets a massive +7 overall boost to his rating, which makes him one of the top running backs in this game, which, I mean, maybe for the relation of his contract, that might be able to justify it a little bit more. All right, we'll squeeze in a couple silly ones before we look at a little bit more practical. We have Zach Davidson, who's a 61 overall tight end for the Minnesota Vikings. He goes up a rating point if you switch him to punter, where he was a punter at Central Missouri. So if you want a 6'7", 251-pound punter, looks like a great pink slips punter, get Zach Davidson. And for the memes, you could take 82 overall safety Justin Reed, and he becomes a 77 overall kicker. He has ridiculous 86 kick power, but I mean, hey, I'm pretty sure he kicked an extra point in the preseason. So for the memes, you can do this. I found a couple corners that do get a nice ratings bump if you switch them to safety. First is Steven Nelson of the Houston Texans. He gets a nice +2, which late in his career, you might be able to extend him by a season or two in terms of regression. Another one I like is rookie first-round pick Trent McDuffie of the Kansas City Chiefs, who is a 77. He gets a very simple +1 upgrade, but I think he might be best suited as a safety in real life and or in your Madden franchises. Now we're going to finish up with the second most favorable position switch after moving wide receivers to running backs, and that is moving safeties to linebacker for everyone that uses linebacker. So first, we're going to start with Terrell Edmunds of the Steelers, who's a 78. And for all these, you are going to see a little bit of a ratings decrease, but I think the value in terms of being a user, a lot more people feel comfortable using linebackers than safeties, so it's well worth the trade-off. So Edmunds goes down to a 76, but still absolutely a terrific user. Next up, we'll take a look at Jabril Peppers on the New England Patriots, 80 overall free safety. And he converts down to a 78 overall outside linebacker with that start of that speed, that pursuit, the coverage ability, great user. I will take a look at the 6'4", 215-pound safety on the Cowboys, Jaron Curse. And he only takes a 1-point hit down to a 79 overall. Good convert. Kyle Duggar is strong safety number 2 on the depth chart for the Patriots, but at 6'1", 220 pounds with that star dev. He dips down to a 79 overall, but still absolutely monstrous with that hit power, with that coverage ability, with the speed. Great convert to a linebacker. Now we'll take a look at Jeremy Chin of the Carolina Panthers, who is an 82 strong safety. Now for a lot of these players, you probably don't have to actually make the position switches, because in your depth chart, you can just make them your sub linebackers. But, you know, for those who just want to make the switch permanent, Jeremy Chin becomes a nice 80 overall outside linebacker, a terrific user with that speed and coverage ability. We'll take a look here at Xavier McKinney, the starting free safety on the New York Giants, 81 with a star dev. And he only takes a 1 overall point reduction to make the switch to a linebacker, and he has good speed, great coverage ability, and pretty solid tackling. And the final safety convert, we're going to take a look at the veteran Marcus May, who is an 83 overall safety for the Saints. This becomes a little bit more practical because now you can, put Honey Badger at free safety, keep Chauncey Gardner-Johnson at strong safety, and you have a brand new upgrade at right outside linebacker where he is an 82 overall. Just great, well-rounded ability, pursuit. You got the speed, you got the coverage. This is a good one. I like it, and that's just not just Gator bias. So there you go, fellas. Those are some of the most overpowered position switches that you can make in Madden 23 within the realm of, like, is it still kind of practical? If I missed anybody, let me know in the comment section below. If there's one player you absolutely want to try and upgrade that you're going to take from this video, let me also know in the comment section below. Gets me going, gets the brain going, gets me thinking a little bit about pink slips. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. And again, if we get 1,000 likes on this video, I will drop episode 1 of our main channel Madden franchise tomorrow. Thank you guys very much for all the love and support so far to start out the Madden 23 season. I absolutely appreciate it. I'm taking back. It is phenomenal. And if it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hop on that bandwagon, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment for the YouTube robots, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Love ya.